Good afternoon, RhinoCats. Happy Five Finger Retell Friday. Today we are going to be wrapping up our school week and school year really with reading chapter 3 of Goosebumps SlappyWorld Revenge of the Invisible Boy by R.L. Stine. I hope you guys have enjoyed the story as much as I have. And if you would like to continue reading it over this summer, I can pass it along to Miss Shannon or Miss Chrissy, who can continue to read it during our summer program. But for today, guys, we're going to be reading chapter 3 of Revenge of the Invisible Boy. And just to kind of recap what has been happening in our story so far, we know that our main character in our story is Frankie Miller, and he is a 12-year-old boy. And he goes to middle school in Ohio. He's really into magic, and he is in a magic club with his friends. It sounds like his closest friends are Eduardo and Melody, but they also hang out with a boy named Ari Goodwin, who Frankie really seems to dislike. He's not very sensible, Frankie says. He doesn't like that he just doesn't take things as seriously as them. And it sounds like during the talent show at school, Ari intentionally maybe dropped our main character, Frankie Miller, when he was trying to do his floating trick on stage. So seems like tensions are high, and Frankie's very upset with Ari, who he thinks intentionally dropped him during his magic trick, during the talent show. So obviously feeling very embarrassed probably and frustrated. So let's see where our story goes from here. As always, continue to ask yourself questions during this story and make those predictions as we go along. So without further ado, we're gonna read chapter 3 of Goosebumps SlappyWorld, Revenge of the Invisible Boy. Melody set a tall glass pitcher filled with water down on the coffee table. "I'm going to show you an awesome new trick," she said. "My Uncle Clyde taught it to me." "I thought your Uncle Clyde is a barber," I said. She nodded. "He is, but he does magic tricks on the side. You know, it's his hobby." Ari laughed. "Like he cuts off your ear, then magically puts it back?" Eduardo grinned. "I'd like to see that trick." The four of us were in Ari's basement for our weekly magic club meeting. Mrs. Goodwin had already served the cookies and lemonade. Now we were sitting around the low coffee table in the middle of the rec room, settling down to business. Buster, Ari's big dog, was nosing around under the food table, searching for cookie crumbs that might have dropped to the floor. I'm not a dog person, to be totally honest. I'm a little afraid of them. Not a dog person. Buster must sense that, which explains why he spends most of his time pestering me. He likes to leap on me and poke me with his huge head and lick me till my skin drips with his sticky saliva. Dogs know when you're not a dog person, and then they always pick you out for special treatment. I begged Ari several times to shut his dog upstairs, but he says that will hurt Buster's feelings. My feelings, of course, don't count. Melody likes to throw her arms around Buster's chest and give him long hugs, but the big creature pretty much ignores her. He only has eyes for me. I leaned forward on the green leather couch and watched Melody arrange the tall water pitcher. Ari stood behind the couch. Eduardo slid off his chair and dropped to his knees at the side table. He ran a hand back through his straight black hair. "Are you going to pour this on somebody?" "Of course not," Melody said. "It's a really good trick." She raised her eyes to me. "I need your baseball cap. Get it for me." "Huh?" I gasped. "What are you going to do? That's my best Yankees cap. Dad got it for me the last time my family visited New York." "Don't worry about it. Just get it," Melody said. Or snapped, excuse me. When she's showing off a new trick, she can get pretty intense. Melody has red hair. She's tiny. I think she's the smallest person in our class, but she's definitely the boldest. I've never seen her back down from an argument, and she usually wins. And she's a terror on the soccer field. At least that's what our kids on the team tell me. I crossed the rec room and pulled my Yankees cap from my jacket pocket. Then Melody took it from me. She placed it upside down next to the pitcher of water. I dropped back to the couch. What are you going to do? Are you going to pour the water into my cap? Melody nodded. You seen this trick? I've never seen it, Eduardo said. I can't wait to see Frankie's cap get soaked, Ari chimed in. Melody frowned at him. That's not going to happen. I'm going to pour the pitcher of water into Frankie's cap, and when I lift the cap into the air, it will be perfectly dry. Ari rolled his eyes. I'm laughing already. He slapped the back of his head from behind. The back of my head from behind, excuse me. Good luck getting a new Yankees cap, dude. No worries, Melody said. This trick never fails. I gritted my teeth. Was my cap really going to end up perfectly dry? Melody reached for the handle of the water pitcher. But before she could lift the pitcher off the table, I heard the thud of heavy footsteps. I looked up in time to see Buster rear back on his hind legs and leap onto the table. He banged the pitcher hard with his big head. It toppled over and shattered. Shards of glass flew off the table, and the water splashed in a tall wave into my baseball cap. My cap was soaked through. I made a grab for it, but Buster shoved it to the floor with a big paw. No! I pulled the drenched cap from the floor and brushed off shards of broken glass. Buster dove for it. I tried to jump to my feet, but before I could move, he leapt into my lap. His fat tongue came out and began ferociously licking my face. Get him off! Get him off! I cried. I tried to push him away with both hands, but he weighed 2 tons, and he was enjoying the taste of my face too much to budge. Don't push him away, Ari said. He'll feel rejected. Rejected? Finally, Eduardo tempted Buster with a dog biscuit, and the hulking beast climbed down from my lap. Ari slapped the back of my head again. Buster likes you, Frankie. Weird, huh? I spun around ready to punch out Ari's lights. But I'm not a violent person. I think a lot about what it would be like to do to Ari, but I would never do any of it, partly because it would be wrong. I mean, I'm not a fighter. I'm a sensible, civilized guy. Buster enjoyed his cookie. He sat down in the corner, probably to celebrate his total victory over me. We cleaned up the broken glass. Then we sat around the table and tried to restart our meeting. I don't want to go over the whole thing again, I said, but the levitation performance was a horrible disaster. I already apologized, Ari said. I can't help it if my hand slipped. Yes, you can, I snapped. I lost focus for a second, he said. It could happen to anyone. Should I hit him? Did you see Morgan Trom's Instagram of me on the stage floor? I asked. She called me Frankie Fall Down. Derek Otis posted one too, Ari said. He called you Frankie Face First. Ha ha. I sighed. I'm a joke. Thanks to you, Ari. I'm a joke. Seriously? Kids look at me in the halls and they burst out laughing. Those kids are just being mean, Melody said, adjusting her single braid from one side to the other. Everyone knows accidents happen. You're not a joke, Frankie. Kids will forget, Ari said. You'll only be a joke for a few more months at the most. Maybe till the end of the semester. I squinted at him. Is that supposed to make me feel better? Not really, he said, and grinned that hateful grin again. We have to stop talking about it, Eduardo said. We have to do another show to prove we're not failures. We should stick to card tricks, Melody said. They're a lot easier, and you can't break any bones doing card tricks. You could snap your wrist, Ari said. Everyone ignored him. Card tricks aren't good on stage, I said. The audience is too far away to see anything. Ari poked me in the side. Get up, I'll show you a good trick we can do. Huh? I gazed at him. Get up. What kind of trick? Come here, I'll show you, he said. He pulled me up to my feet. Then he led me across the room to my dad's exercise equipment. Frankie, grab the bar up there. I hesitated. That bar? Why? My dad does 50 chin-ups on it every morning, Ari said. But you don't have to do any lifts. I'm going to show you a good trick. Grab the bar. I glanced back. Melody and Eduardo hadn't moved. They were watching from across the room. I decided to play along. Maybe Ari really did have a good trick. I stood on my tiptoes, reached high, and grabbed the metal bar with both hands. Now what? Just hold on to the bar, Ari said. Grip it tightly. Don't let go. This is a good trick. You'll see. My arms were stretched as high as they would go. My head tilted back. I gripped the bar tightly in both hands. And Ari tugged my jeans down to my ankles. I uttered a startled cry. Ari backed away, laughing like a hyena. I heard Melody and Eduardo laughing too. And of course, today I'd worn the SpongeBob boxer shorts my grandmother gave me. Not too embarrassing. I quickly pulled my jeans up, but Their laughter continued, ringing off the low basement ceiling. I knew my face was bright red, but I didn't care. I had only one thought in mind: how will I pay Ari back? Strangely enough, the answer came to me 1 week later. Oh my goodness, what a great spot to end. So much suspense. What will happen next? What do you think Frankie Miller will do to get back at Ari for this mean trick that he just did to him, and for what Frankie thinks was intentionally dropping him during the talent show? This is about to get good. Um, Guys, if you're still interested in reading this, which I hope you are, I'm going to give this to Miss Chrissy or Miss Shannon to continue reading to you guys over this summer. Go ahead and do a 5-finger retell. So ask yourself, who or what are my characters? How are they developing or changing? What are the problems in this chapter? Or what new problems are we seeing? What problems do we think may happen in the future? Or how do you think these problems will ultimately be resolved? A lot to predict or guess about with what's going to happen next. I can't wait to hear your predictions. Go ahead, do that 5-finger retell, and I will check in with you guys later this week.